Good evening, everyone. Last class we have completed variable shadowing. Any questions? Did you practice that variable shadowing? So did you understand when you call non-static method, current object reference is passed as argument. Then from the non-static method, this keyword is pointing to same object. If you read or modify values in the current object, the modifications are affected to the argument object, right? Next, I requested you to complete this program. Have you? Tell me what is the output you got? Tell me, is there any object created in this M1 method? In this M1 method, any object created? No. Is this M1 method have access to any object? Understand my question? Is this object, is this M1, in this M1 method, is there any object created? Is this method have access to any object? Yes, which object? This is a variable. I am asking object, current object. In this, is this M2 method have access to how many objects? First one, current object. Second one, another object, local object. What is that another object? Local object. T1 is a local variable holding this object. Then this x value storing in current object, local object, because it is accessed by using T1. How many objects this x variable have access? 2. What are the two? Current object, argument, current object and local object. Next, is this M1 method have access to how many objects? 2 objects. M4 method, one object, current object. This keyword also pointing to current object, T1 also pointing to current object. M5 method has access to how many objects? One object. What is current object? This line, compiled or not compiled? Not compiled because T1 is not local variable, not class level variable. M6 has access to how many objects? One object, current object. This x variable is current object variable or local variable? Because variable shadowing. Because how many objects access this M7 has? One object. What one object? Current object. Tell me, in this method, x refers to which object x? Local object or current object x? Current object x, because this refers to current object. Then tell me, example E1 equal new example. Example object is created with x variable value 10 and pointing by T1. What the T1 dot x? This T1 is local to this main method, na? Inside main method, when I write T1, it read what? This object. Then T1 dot M1. Search for M1 method in T1 class. Example. In T1 class example, M1 method is available. Current object reference 10 will come. What is the statement? This dot x equal to 5. 10 replaced with what? 5. Where? In the class I in object. Inside object x value what? 5. After T1 dot M1, T1 dot x value 5. Check your answers. 10, 5. Right? T1 dot M2. Search for M2 method in T1 class example with a 10 object. M2 method is found. This variable storing 10 object. T1 create 20 object pointing T1 dot x value. 7 stored in x variable in T1 object in local variable. Any affected to current object? No. Control come back to main method. After M2 method, T1 dot x value how much? 5. 10, 5, 5. Now next, T1 dot M3. Search for M3 method in T1 class test. In T1 class M3 available. X equal to 12 before any variable shadowing. Then what compiler will add here? This dot x equal to 12. 5 replaced with 12. T1 equal to new example. Another new object is created. 14 stored in x in T1. T1 pointing to local object. Any affected to current object? No. Then after this method completed, what is the T1 dot x value? 12, 10, 5, 5, 12. T1 dot M4. Search for M4 method in T1 class. X equal to 16. 12 replaced with 16. T1 receiving what value? 10, 10. Then T1 is also pointing to current object. T1 dot x equal to 18. 18 stored in x in current object. Current object already what value? 16. 16 replaced with 18. Now after M4 method call, T1 dot x value what? 18. 10, 5, 5, 12, 18. Okay na? T1 dot M5. Search for M5 method in test class. In test class, M5 method available. This line is there or commented or? Commented. Now in M5 method, do you have any other statements? No. Empty method going and coming back. What is the output? 18. Next, T1 dot M6. Control go to M6 method. Int x equal to 22. 22 stored in the local variable. After M6 method, T1 dot x is still 18. What is the output? 10, 5, 5, 12, 18, 18, 18. T1 dot M7 method. Search for M7 method here. This index, this dot x equal to 23. 23 stored in this dot x. After M7, what the value? 23. Hope everyone understand? With this, we successfully understood variable shadowing with a static variable and non-static variable. So this keyword, duplicate variable, local preference, variable shadowing, its problem, solution with static, solution with non-static. So all points clear. This keyword, variable shadowing, local preference. Any confusions? Today class is 100% you cannot understand. Good there. 100% guarantee you will not understand. ఏం చేస్తారు ఈరోజు క్లాస్ వదిలేదమ్మా? Will you leave today class? Or will you try? ఏం చేస్తారు రే? అరే బాయ్ చెప్పురా. వదిలేస్తావా? ట్రై చేస్తావా? అదా చూసుకుందాం దారా, నీ ప్రతాపమా నా ప్రతాపం. I will not explain the concept. First, I will give you program. 2 programs I'll give, okay? You try program. If you can answer, then I will explain. If you cannot answer, I will leave. Okay, na? I will not touch the topic. Topic is very hard. You try answer. Okay. The program. Page number 171. Offline students. Page number 171. page 171 by 199. 171, 199. You try to understand that program yourself. ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఏముంది అని చూడండి మీరే. Offline online students, page number 287, volume 1B textbook, page number 187. Volume 1A textbook, page number 287. You yourself try to understand that program. Class example, what is there? Then M1 method, what is there? Then main method, what is there? You try yourself and find output yourself. Down to that program, I gave one question, one statement, strict rule. ఏంటది? తెలుగులో మూసుకొని, ఓకే, ఉందే కదా గట్టి వార్నింగ్ ఇచ్చేటప్పుడు, బొమ్మ రాసుకొని సాల్వ్ చేయి. నీకు నచ్చినట్టు చేసావో మటరే. స్ట్రిక్ట్లీ solve above program by drawing object memory diagram. Don't use your eyes. There is no compiled error in this program. Okay, do you remember calling a method by passing primitive value as an argument, calling a method by passing object as an argument? We already solved, remember? Parameterized method, parameterized method, we discussed 2 points, passing primitive value and passing object. Tell me, now this M1 method has parameter. M1 method is a parameterized method with what type? Example. Example is what? Object. The example, how can you operate? Where is new keyword? Right? Example E1 is what? Reference type parameter. ఇక్కడ ఇస్తే క్లాస్, ఇక్కడ క్లాస్ అనకూడదు. క్లాస్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, హియర్ క్లాస్. ఇన్ parameter and in variable, what is this? Reference type. When method has a reference type as a parameter, what is the argument you have to pass? Object. That example class, object. Clear? Present. So you know already, if I find a method as a parameter, how to call that method by passing. If method is a non-static method, how to call that method? You try yourself. First you try. Strictly draw memory. Down I give half page. This program is parameterized method flow of execution. Nothing. Last 1 week classes, if you recollect, then you can find output. Simple program. So assume this is exam today. You are in exam hall. You have to find output. Try. How much you'll impress interviewer? Let us see. How many parameters, right? Parameters method is M1. Ma? Two parameters method. When you call this method, how many arguments will come into this method? Two arguments. Excellent. Right. I expected that one from. Next. When you call this method by passing two arguments, inside that method I have access X variable, right? How did I access X variable? Directly by their name and by using E dot. If access directly by their name, from which object that X and Y variable values will read? Current object. Super. If I access by using E dot, then the values are reading from which object? Parameter object is called parameter object or argument object? Argument object. Read from argument object. So here who is parameter, who is argument? It is decided in method definition or method call? Method call. So inside main method, E1 dot M1 of E2. Here current object is E1, argument object is E2. Then first two lines are executed for E1, next two lines are executed for E2. Clear? Like that you have to think and answer. Try. Did you complete first four lines? Did you complete first four lines? E1 dot M1 of E2. Hello, master. I have asked question, no response. Have you created object like this? First two lines object with default value x0, x0, right? What next? E1 dot M1 of E2. Control is going from main method into M1 method with how many arguments? Two arguments. What the two? This are. This is not argument of parameter. Current object reference 1010 and argument object reference 2020. They are stored in parameter this and or parameter E. Did you create like this? Okay, super. Then first two lines are executing on this object. What are this object? First object, E1 object. Tell me. X equal to x plus 1 means this dot x equal to this dot x plus 1. This is E1 object. E1 object x value is 0. 0 plus 1, 1. Y equal to y plus 2. This dot y 0. 0 plus 2, 2. 2 stored. Have you done same way? E dot x equal to E dot x plus 3. E dot y equal to E dot y plus 4. Then E object is what? Parameter. Parameter is what? Argument object. Argument object is E2. E2 dot 0. 0, 0 plus 3, 3. 0 plus 4, 4. Then method execution completed, control come back, parameters are destroyed. Then main method logic executed. E1 dot x value how much? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now? This is how you have to work. Remaining methods you work. After completing full program, tell me, I will verify. I don't come to you, don't fear. Okay, now? I'll verify on my system. You check yourself. If I come there, then definitely I'll murder you today. Completed? Complete all 4. Tell me, what is the next output? 4, 6, 4, 6. Next. 5, 8. How 8, 12? How many objects you send to M1 method? 1 object, 2 times you send. Then how E2 object is 8 to 12? E2 object you didn't send, how it will modify? How 5, 8? You didn't pass E2 object, na? What is the output? 8 to 12? 8 to 12, 4, 6. 8, 12, 5, 8. 5, 8, no? 8 to 12, 5, 8. 5, 8, 4, 6. 8, 12. Babu re, first row, అయిపోయిందా ఇంకా అవ్వలేదా? Did you complete or not? Still working or? If you not completed, you should ask me to wait, right? ఏంటో అది కూడా తెలియదు. If completed, ask me. Let me know. I'll work. If everyone completed, let me know. Addition, subtractions, and Swami. It is simple addition, subtractions, na? Then why you are taking this much time? Huh? First row. Babu. Addition, subtractions, Babu. Look at screen. Everyone. Everyone understand the first one E1 dot M1 of E2? Asla first of all, did you understand this M1 method structure? Each line. I can define a non-static method with explicit parameter. Then non-static method has how many parameters? 2. First parameter, the second parameter is our own. Then how many arguments I should pass to call this method? 2 objects. One as a current object, another as argument object. How to call E1 dot M1 of E2? The object available before dot is current object. The object available in parenthesis is called argument object. Current object will go on store in this keyword. Argument object will go on store in parameter E. Inside method logic, if I access non-static variable directly by this name, the values will be read and modified in current object. If I access non-static variable by using parameter, the values are read and modified in argument object. E points are mind lo undali. These points should be there in your mind. Okay, na brother? There or not there? Or if there, why you are taking so much time to answer? I'll tell you your problem, okay? Remember, you will think more. That's why that is your problem. Bro, water is there, water, you throw the water on the floor. It will go smoothly wherever the slope is there. But what you trying now? You want to move the water to upward direction. How it will move? Some extra effort you are putting. That's why you are confusing and finally you are giving wrong answers and feeling so difficult. Okay, na? What to do? What to do? Stop showing talent. Don't think. When you see this program, what is this? Non-static method with parameter. What is this? X equal to x plus 1. X equal to x plus 1. Is x equal to x plus 1. And then confusion will come. Right? X equal to x plus 1. Read x value, add 1, store in x. In which x? Directly. Directly means current object. This dot x equal to this x plus 1. When that free flow will be there? When you will get that free flow of applying the concepts? When you have fresh brain or continuation brain? Last topic you have to remember. If you remember last page's topic, today class is easy. If you don't remember last class topic, come to the class with a fresh brain. Sir telling very tough. When this batch is completed, because so many points are there to learn. That feeling you will get. When daily you are learning with the previous topics, you will get interest. Yes, today I learned new point by applying previous point. Tomorrow what the new topic will come, that interest will come. So interest is coming or not coming, it is in your hand. Every day previous topics, if you forgot and come, interest will not be there. Why? You cannot answer. Every day you will feel difficult. This topic also very tough. This topic is very tough. Here nothing is there. Just I combined this keyword and parameter in one method. That's it. Now tell me, E2 dot M1 of E1. Now my question is, everyone listen. First I call M1 method with E1 as a current object, E2 as a argument object. Now can I reverse them? E2 as a current object, E1 as an argument object. How? How is it possible to reverse the object? E2 is what type of object? Example. M1 available in which class? Example. M1 method parameter is example. So E1 is also example object, E2 is also example object. When E1, E2 are example objects, whichever direction you want, you can use mixer. That side, this side, no problem. So what the meaning of E1 dot M1 of E2? Search for E2 parameter type M1 method in E1 class. Right to left, you have to pronounce the methods. Already told you several times. Search for E2 parameter type M1 method in E1 type class. Okay, current object means it is giving you the class information in which class the method is available. Search for example parameter M1 method in example class available. What the meaning of E2 dot M1 of E1? Search for example type parameter M1 method in example class available. And pass E2 as a current object, E1 as a argument object. Inside method logic directly access X variable work on E1, E2 object with E dot X variable work with what? E1 object. That's all. Again you create this to E. Any difficulty? Previous statement copy paste. Then next. X plus 1 ante E2 dot X. E2 dot X value 3. 3 plus 1, 4. 4 store here. 3 replace with 4. Next. 4 plus 2, 6. Next. E1 dot X. E dot X ante E1 dot X. E1 dot X value 1. 1 plus 3, 4. 2 plus 4, 6. Any difficulty? Any confusion? Next program, too much confusion will come. అర్థమైందా? అర్థం కాలేదా? ఏం చెప్పు అర్థం కాలేదు? ఏ వేరియబుల్స్? ఏ వేరియబుల్స్? XY వేరియబుల్స్ డిస్ట్రాయ్ అవుతాయా? పారామీటర్స్ డిస్ట్రాయ్ అవుతాయి. అయినాయి కదా, క్రాస్ మార్క్ కొట్టాను కదా, ఇంకేం ప్రాబ్లం? ఎక్కడ స్టోర్ అయినాయి? ఆబ్జెక్ట్ లో స్టోర్ అయిన ఉంటాయి కదా అక్కడే. ఇంకేం ప్రాబ్లం? ఏం ప్రాబ్లం? అదే ఏంటి ప్రాబ్లం? ఏం అర్థం కాలేదంటున్నా. ఇప్పుడు 8ంటికి మెస్కి వెళ్తావు కదా, తింటావు కదా, పొట్టలో స్టోర్ అయింది కదా. మెస్ నుంచి బయటకు వచ్చే ఫుడ్ అక్కడ డ్రాప్ అయిపోయిందా? నీ పొట్టతో పాటు వచ్చింది, ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తా అక్కడికి. నువ్వు ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తే అక్కడికి ఫుడ్ వచ్చింది కదా. ఎలా వస్తుంది? ఆ XY వాల్యూస్ ఎక్కడ స్టోర్ అని? ఆబ్జెక్ట్ లో స్టోర్ అని. ఆ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎంతసేపు ఉంటే అంతసేపు ఆ వాల్యూస్ కూడా ఉంటాయి కదా. ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎవరు హోల్డ్ చేస్తున్నారు? ఆ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఎవరు? ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఒరిజినల్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఎవరివి? మెయిన్ మెథడ్ E1 E2 వేరియబుల్స్ ఆర్ హోల్డింగ్ దోస్ 2 ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్. అవునా? ఆ 2 ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ని మనం M1 మెథడ్కి ఇచ్చాం. అవి టెంపరీగా దిస్ లో ఈలో స్టోర్ చేసుకున్నాయి. లాజిక్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయిపోయింది, బయటికి వెళ్ళిపోయింది. బయటికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఏవి డిస్ట్రాయ్ అవుతాయి? మెథడ్ నుంచి బయటికి వచ్చినప్పుడు ఏమి డిస్ట్రాయ్ అవుతాయి? పారామీటర్స్ డిస్ట్రాయ్ అవుతాయి. XY వేరియబుల్స్ డిస్ట్రాయ్ అవుతాయా? XY వేరియబుల్స్ ఆర్ లోకల్ టు M1 ఆర్ నాన్ స్టాటిక్ వేరియబుల్స్ ఆఫ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్? నాన్ స్టాటిక్ వేరియబుల్స్ ఎప్పుడు డిస్ట్రాయ్ అవుతాయి? ఆబ్జెక్ట్ డిస్ట్రాయ్ అవుతాయి. ఆబ్జెక్ట్ డిస్ట్రాయ్ అయిందా అవ్వలేదా? మరి దాంట్లో స్టోర్ అయిన 1 2 4 3 4 ఉంటాయా ఉండవా? ఎంతసేపు? ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఉన్నంతసేపు. మెథడ్ నుంచి బయటకు వచ్చేసావు. E1 డాట్ X అంటే ఏం రావాలి? E1 ఆబ్జెక్ట్ లో ఉన్న వాల్యూ రావాలి. E1 ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఉన్న వాల్యూ ఎంత? 1 2. E2 ఆబ్జెక్ట్ లో ఉన్న వాల్యూ నేను చెప్పినదేగా, మనం చెప్పినదేగా, అంతకుముందు చెప్పినదేగా. మళ్ళీ కొత్తగా అడుగుతున్నాం. ఏం చేయాలి ఇప్పుడు? ఏం చేయాలి నేను ఇప్పుడు? లాస్ట్ 3 రోజులు నేర్చుకున్నది అదే పాయింట్. when I modify object data by using a method, that modifications are stored in object and that modifications are available to main method. ఎక్కడి నుంచి మొదలు పెట్టాం ఆ పాయింట్ ని? దిస్ కీవర్డ్ నుంచి మొదలు పెట్టాం. వెళ్ళు వెనక్కి వెళ్ళి ప్రీవియస్ పేజ్కి వెళ్ళు. నోట్స్ లో దిస్ కీవర్డ్ ఓపెన్ చేయి. 4th పాయింట్ JVM యాక్టివిటీస్ ఓపెన్ చేయి. ఉందా 4th పాయింట్? మరి ఎందుకు మర్చిపోయావు? నేను చేసింది ఏంటి? వేరియబుల్ షాడోయింగ్ లో I passed 50 as argument to M1 stored in X variable in current object. After method completed, coming back in main method after M1 of 50, what the A value? 50. What the X value? 50. నేను ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసావా ఇంట్లో? మరి ఇవాళ మళ్ళీ ఎందుకు కన్ఫ్యూజన్ వచ్చింది? మళ్ళీ వేరియబుల్స్ డిస్ట్రాయ్ అంటావు. ఎవరి వేరియబుల్స్ డిస్ట్రాయ్ అవ్వాలి? పారామీటర్ డిస్ట్రాయ్ అవ్వాలి. పారామీటర్ ఈ డిస్ట్రాయ్ అయిపోయిందిగా. నాన్ స్టాటిక్ వేరియబుల్స్ ఎందుకు డిస్ట్రాయ్ అవుతాయి? Come on guys, next. Now method execution completed, control come back, parameters are destroyed. Now tell me, what is the E1 dot X value? 4 6. E2 dot X value Y value 4 6. ఇప్పటి వరకు అందరికి అర్థమైందా? అర్థమైంది ఇప్పుడు? ఎవ్రీవన్ లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ ఇంకో ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇచ్చి దగ్గరికి వస్తా, చేయలేదో మటరే. One more program I'll give you now. Everyone, there is Ersoka. Advaina? Online students, everyone. Next, E1 dot M1 of E2. What is the meaning of it? Search for example parameter M1 method in example class. Available. Can I pass the same object as a current object and argument object? Yes. Then what happened? Control will go to M1 method with the current object as E1, argument object also as E1. This variable, E variable, both contains 10, 10, 10, 10. Then this entire method, all lines are executed for E1 object. What the output you got? Tell me. First statement, x equal to x plus 1, what? 4 plus 1, 5. 6 plus 2, 8. 5, 8, right? Then from there control come out. Control come back to main method. Hello? Control come back to main method, right? Hi. Previously after 2 lines executed, control come back, no? అప్పుడంటే రెండు ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఇచ్చాం కాబట్టి previously I passed 2 objects. First 2 lines are 1 object, next 2 lines are another object. Now you passed only 1 object, so the execution will be only for 1 object, one time executed. Huh? Someone gave you 2 chocolates, then you will take on both chocolates, you will eat, no? Ayyo, 1 chocolate already eat, second chocolate don't eat. Are you feeling like that? No. Then same way, how can I go in the middle of out of the method? Not possible. Next 2 lines also you have to execute. Next 2 lines also executing on same object with the original values or latest modified values are. What are the latest modified values? 5 and 8. E dot x value 5 plus 3, 8. E dot y value 8 plus 4, 12. అర్థమైందా? అర్థం కాదు అడిగి చెప్తా. తిట్టను ఈరోజు అస్సలు తిట్టను. చెప్పాను ఈరోజు టాపిక్ అర్థం అవడమే నా జీవిత ధన్యం అవుతుంది. మీరు చెప్పక్కర్లే, నేనే చెప్తా. మీరు చెప్పినా మీకు అర్థమైందే చెప్పండి చాలు. ఇఫ్ యూ డోంట్ అండర్స్టాండ్ ఆస్క్ మీ బాబు, ఐ విల్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్. ఎవ్రీవన్ ఫస్ట్ రో అర్థమైందా? అర్థమైందంటే అండర్స్టాండ్. అర్థమైందా అంటే నెక్స్ట్ టైం when I say అర్థమైందా, what do you feel? ఓ సమझ में आया? आया आया. Everyone, బాబు బాయ్స్, hello girls, no more modems. If not understand, ask, I'll explain. Yesterday I was not really angry. Today see how much people dropped. I told tomorrow girls I will verify your notes. That's why Gaya. See, why sometimes suddenly I will show anger on you, to see how many people are seriously wanted to learn, how many people are just time pass coming. When I scold, time pass people get hurted. You scold me, I don't come. Understand? When father is scolding, mother is scolding, teacher is scolding, we will get too much angry. And we don't eat food, okay? And someone should pamper you. Ade friend scolding, are babu re, isn't? Friend scolding, lover scolding, we don't get angry. Return we will go on request him. Sorry mama. Tomorrow onwards I don't do like this. Rare, please ra, talk ra. Ade faculty scold cheste, you scold me, I don't come. 1 minute. Someone got Ranjanish. Rajinish. Babu. Chinoju Rajinish. Unmute. Unmute and ask your doubt, Swami. Next, E2 dot M1 of E2. In place of M1, E1, I can use E2 also. Then what happened? Again, control go to M1 method. Then all 4 lines are executed on E2 object now. Tell me now. Same flow. 4 plus 1, 5. 6 plus 2, 8. Next 2 lines are executing on same object. 8 plus 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus 4, 12. Method completed, control come. 8, 12, 8, 12. Really understood? Paka? లా కరేంగే చెప్పు. చెప్పు ఏం డౌట్ అని చెప్పు. ఉమ్. ఏ వేరియబుల్స్? ఏంటి ఆ డౌట్ ఏంటి? ఏంటి డౌట్ ఏంటి? టూ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ అయితే ఫ్లో అర్థమైందా? మరి టూ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఫ్లో అయినా ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎందుకు అర్థం అవట్లేదు? దిశలో ఏముంది? ఎవరు ఆ కరెంట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్? E1. పారామీటర్ ఈలో ఏముంది? మరి అంతే, ఇంకేనీ డౌట్? ఫస్ట్ టూ లైన్స్ ఎవరి కోసం ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతాయి? దిశలో ఉన్న ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కి. దిశలో ఉన్న ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎవరు? E1. నెక్స్ట్ టూ లైన్స్ ఎవరికి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతాయి? పారామీటర్. పారామీటర్ లో ఉన్న ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎవరు? రెండు సార్లు E1 కి రన్ అయినాయి, ఇంకేం డౌట్? నువ్వు రెండు సార్లు తిన్నావా, ఒకసారి తిన్నావా? ఒకసారి తిన్నావా, మళ్ళా తిన్నావా? తిన్నావు కదా, ఇంకేం ప్రాబ్లం? ఒకసారి మాడిఫై చేస్తే ఒకసారి ఉండిద్ది, రెండు సార్లు మాడిఫై చేస్తే రెండు సార్లు ఉంటుంది, 10 సార్లు మాడిఫై చేస్తే 10 సార్లు ఉండిద్ది, అంతే కదా? ఒకసారి క్వశ్చన్ అడిగా, రెండు సార్లు అడిగావా? రెండు సార్లు అడిగా, ఒకసారి చెప్పానా రెండు సార్లు చెప్పానా? మరి ఇంకేం డౌట్? ఏం డౌట్ చెప్పు. నువ్వు టూ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ పంపిస్తే టూ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ కి రన్ అయింది. ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ని రెండు సార్లు పంపిస్తే రెండు సార్లు ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కి రన్ అవుతుంది రా భయ్, అంతే కదా? ఇప్పుడు నేను ఐఎమ్ టేకింగ్ టూ క్లాసెస్, 4 to 6 one batch, 6 to 8 one batch, 4 hours I am taking for two batches. So 4 to 6 syllabus 4 to 6, 6 to 8 syllabus 6 to 8. Sunday I am taking long session for 4 hours. Then 4 hours I should teach for two batches or same batch? Two batches. Long session I am taking for one batch 4 hours. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి నేను? అడిగిన దాన్ని మాత్రం ఆన్సర్ చేయాలి, ఎక్కువ ఆలోచించి. 4 hours ఒక బ్యాచ్ తీసుకుంటే నేను ఒక బ్యాచ్ కే చెప్పాలి కదా. ఫస్ట్ 2 hours ఒక బ్యాచ్ కే చెప్పాలి, నెక్స్ట్ 2 hours కూడా ఒక బ్యాచ్ కే చెప్పాలి, అవునా? అమ్మాయి నీకేం సంబంధం రా, నేను చెప్పింది ఒక బ్యాచ్ కదరా. ఒక బ్యాచ్ ని రెండు సార్లు రమ్మన్నాను, అవునా? ఇప్పుడు 2 times ఎవరికి చెప్పాలి? నేను ఒక బ్యాచ్ కి 2 times చెప్పాలి, అంతేగా? సో అనవసరంగా కన్ఫ్యూజ్. అసలు క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎందుకు రైట్ చేసుకున్నా నీ మైండ్ లో? చెప్పు 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 బంగారం. అసలు క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎందుకు తెచ్చుకుంటున్నావు? నేను ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇచ్చా, ఫ్లోలో వెళ్ళిపోవాలి కదా. ఈలో ఏముంది, దిశలో ఏముంది, 10 ఎల్లు తెచ్చుకో, మాడిఫై చేయి, మళ్ళీ స్టోర్ చేయి. ఈలో ఏముంది, 10 మళ్ళీ అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి తెచ్చుకో, వాల్యూస్ మాడిఫై చేసే స్టోర్ చేసే. క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎందుకు వేసుకున్నావు? అయ్యో ఇప్పుడు ఎలా రెండు ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ వచ్చినాయి, ఎలా అయిద్దో ఏంటో నా జీవితం అంటే. దీనికి అదే చెప్పింది ఇంగ్లీష్ లో, నీ తెలుగులో చెప్తున్నా. వాటర్ ని ఫ్లోర్ మీద ప్లేస్ చేసినప్పుడు వాటర్ కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవ్వదు, ఎటు స్లోప్ ఉంటే అటు వెళ్ళిపోద్ది. అక్కడ కూర్చొని ఆలోచించి నేను ఎప్పుడైతే ఎటు వెళ్ళాలని ఆలోచించదు. అది కూడా అంతే ఫ్లో. నేను ప్రోగ్రామ్ లోకి వెళ్ళాం, ఎన్ని ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ వెళ్ళాను? రెండు ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ వెళ్ళా. ఆ రెండు ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ లో అక్కడ ఉన్న స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ఏంటి? దిస్ డాట్, దిస్ లో ఉన్న ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎవరు? 10 కి వెళ్ళి తెచ్చుకో, మాడిఫై చేసుకో, స్టోర్ చేసుకో. నెక్స్ట్ ఏంటి? ఈ అంటే ఎవరు? 10 మళ్ళీ 10 కి వెళ్తాం, మళ్ళీ వెళ్ళి తెచ్చుకుంటాం, మళ్ళీ స్టోర్ చేస్తాం. ఇంకేంత కన్ఫ్యూజన్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లో. E1.M1 కి ఎలా రన్ చేసావో మిగతా అన్ని కూడా అంతే. అక్కడ ఏ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఇస్తే ఆ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ వర్క్ చేయాలి. పొద్దున ఇడ్లీ పెట్టాడు, రేపు పొద్దున చపాతీ పెడతాడు, తినవా? నిన్న ఇడ్లీ, ఈరోజు చపాతీ, నేను కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవుతానంటావా? నిన్న ఎలా తిన్నావు, ఇలా కూడా అలా తింటావురా బాబు. వీడెవడో ఏడుస్తున్నాడు ఆన్లైన్ లో. తెలుగు నాట్ అండర్స్టాండ్. నిన్ను ఎవడో అర్థం చేసుకోమని చెప్పాడరా? Who asked you to understand Telugu, Ravai? Usman Khan? Ah, this dot x equal this dot x plus 1. Right, sir. The right side కూడా యాడ్ చేస్తున్నారు సార్. చేసిందా చేయదా నవీన్? నవీన్ రైట్ సైడ్ కూడా యాడ్ చేస్తుందా చేయదా? చేస్తుంది కదా, ఇంకేంది ప్రాబ్లం చెప్పు. వన్ అవర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ రెడీయా? ఇంకా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా బాబు? క్లియర్ అయిందా? ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ డౌట్ క్లియర్ అయిపోతే నెక్స్ట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ వచ్చారే. ఎవ్రీవన్ గట్ క్లారిటీ? పక్కా? లిటిల్ డౌట్ క్లారిఫికేషన్ కోసం థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. ఓకే. ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తే దీంట్లో కంపైల్ టైమర్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయండి. ఫైండ్ అవుట్ కంపైల్ టైమర్స్ ఇన్ ద బిలో ప్రోగ్రామ్. రైట్ అండ్ టెల్ మీ. After Diwali, I'll start new batch at morning 7 a.m. If any of your friends are waiting, let them know because many students are asking when is new batch. After Diwali, morning 7 a.m. new batch will come. Completed? Tell me. Is there any compile time error? First example class contains M1 method with a parameter example. Can example class method contain parameter of another class also? Yes, your wish. Any class parameter you can use in your class. Sample class contain method with a parameter of example class. I want to pass example class object to sample class object to example class. Now answer my question because you already solved this question there in the interview room. As a program, you can find and tell the correct answer. But in the face-to-face round, he will ask in English, then try to tell. Can I pass one class object as a current object to another class method? Can I pass one class object as a current object to another class method? Yes, sir. What is the program statement of my question? What is the program statement of my question? Can I pass one class object? One class and a example class. Example E1 equal to new example as current object to another class method. Another class means sample. How can I pass one object as a current object? If you want to pass your object as a current object to a method, you have to call the method. Na? How can I call the method? E1 dot M1. Here E1 object acting as a current object or argument object? Understand my question? Can I pass one class object as a current object to another class method? In a sample class, I have M1 method. Then I call sample class M1 method by using E1 dot M1. Possible or not possible? Possible. Why not possible? Sure. So what? What is the meaning of scope? If this question asked in the interview, how will you justify? How will you answer? Is it possible to pass one class object as current object to another class method? Means I created example class object. Using example class object reference E1 dot, I'm searching for M1 method. I'm calling the M1 method of which class? Sample class. Possible or not possible? Not possible. Why? What is the meaning of E1 dot M1? Search for M1 method. Dot means in. Search for M1 method in E1 class. Who is the E1 class? Example. JVM searching for that method inside which class? Example class. Understand? If you want to call sample class method, you have to use sample class object. If you want to call example class method, you must use example class object. Tell me, there are two ways we can pass object from one method to another method. Inside main method, I have created example class object. From the main method, I can pass example object to another method in two ways. Number one, as a current object, as an argument object. How many ways we can pass? Two ways. Current object and argument object. How can I confirm an object is a current object? If you call a method by using object, means before a dot you have mentioned the object, then that object is current object. If you mention the object, right side of the method call in parenthesis, that is argument object. If you use an object to call the method, that method definition must be available in the current object class. Are you following? E1 dot M1 when you call, M1 method must be available in E1 class. Who is the E1 class? Example. So, can I pass current object as argument mean? Can I pass one class object as a current object to another class method? No, because compiler search for the invoked method in the current object class. It is not available, so compiler throwing error. Question number 1, everyone understand? Question number 2, I am asking. Can I pass one class object as argument object to another class method? Can I pass one class object, example class object, as argument object to sample class method? Yes. Tell me, sample argument means what? Calling a, passing a. If you want to pass, what must be there? Parameter must be there. Now, M3 method parameter is example. So if I take M3 method with the parameter example, I can pass example object as an argument by mentioning the parenthesis. Okay, now? So repeat once again. How many ways we can pass an object from one method to another method? 2 ways. As a current object, as a argument object. If you want to pass object as a current object, the method must be defined in the current object class. If you want to pass object as a argument object, that method may be available in the same class or may be available in another class, but the method parameter should be that object type. Everyone understands? Tell me, can I pass example object as an argument to sample class? Yes. Can I pass sample class object as an argument to example class? Yes. Clear my points? Can I pass example class object as a current object to example sample class? No. Can I pass sample class object as a current object to example class? No. समझ में आया all points? I created 3 objects. Example, example, sample. E1.m1 of E2. What the meaning of it? Right to left. Search for example parameter M1 method in example class. Example class parameter M1 available? Yes. Next, what the meaning of E1.m2 of S1? Search for sample parameter M2 method in example class. Available a sample parameter M2 method? Compile. S1.m1 of E1. Search for example parameter M1 method in sample class. Example parameter method M1 method available in example. Then is it possible to pass a sample object as a current object? No, because JVM compiler searching for example parameter M1 method in sample class. In sample class M1 is not available, M3 is available, so it leads to compile time error. Next, S1.m3 of E1. Search for example parameter M3 method in sample class. In sample class example parameter M3 available? Yes. Everyone comfortable? Daily you are going to work with primitive values as parameter or reference values as a parameter. Because Java is a mathematics based programming, object oriented. Every day you are going to work with this program. Names are changing. Example sample to student to college, employee company, bank account bank, ATM card, mobile SIM. Okay. So one object to another object connection is done by method calls and parameters. Clear? Which class method you want to call, that class object you have to use before dot, and in the parenthesis you can pass either same class object or another class object based on the parameter type. Clear? Everyone understand? Now final conclusion is how many ways we can share an object from one method to another method? In 2 ways, as a current object and as a argument object. Look at here, emp1 dot comparative of emp2. Comparative is a method definition, a method caller. Method call. I am calling the method by using which object? emp1. By passing which object? emp2. Then here emp2 type is current class or parameter type. In which class comparative method is searching with what parameter type? emp2 type parameter comparative method searching in emp1 type. Method is executing from which class? emp1 class. With the parameter what? emp2. This is the collection chapter. If you want to understand collection chapter, first of all, you should be strong in method chapter. Without method chapter, collection not understand, multi-threading not understand, string handling not understand, advanced Java not understand, your life will be retired from Java. today topic is very important. This today topic, sincerely you have to write notes by heart, remember sentences, practice your program one more time by writing the programs, and again arrow marks and everything you practice and come tomorrow. Hey, today class not completed, online. Wait, just I am telling you. Tell me now. E1, E2, both objects are of which type? Employee. If you want to pass employee class two objects into a non-static method of same employee class. Go for the sentence. Big sentence. Come again. If you want to pass employee class two objects into non-static method of same employee class, how many parameters we must define for this method? Two parameters or one parameter? Two employee class objects want to pass employee class non-static method. Hey, employee class non-static method already has one parameter, this na? Yes, then extra one more parameter we have to define. And then, so how many parameters? One parameter, because it will have other parameter as this. Everyone understand? Then how to call that method? EMP1 dot comparative of EMP2. Then current object stored in this keywords, argument object stored in parameter. Tell me, same method can I call by reversing? EMP2 dot comparative of EMP1, and then current object is argument object. This dot reading whose values? The parameter E reading whose values? Tell me, can I call a comparative method by using EMP1 dot comparative of EMP1? Then we'll get a true or false. Comparative method comparing two objects. We'll get a true or false. True, because you are passing two different objects or same object two times. Same object two times. EMP1 dot comparative of EMP2. False. EMP2 dot comparative of EMP1. False. Because there are two different objects. Hello? EMP1 dot comparative of EMP1. True. EMP2 dot comparative of EMP2. True. Understand? Coming days, will you torture me? Sir, any question ask? Yes, sir. Ante. Now, listen. I want to pass EMP1 object, EMP2 object to other class non-static method. Not possible. Why not possible? Why not possible? Can you pass one class object to another class method? How? As a current object or argument object? Argument object and method should have parameters. What question I have asked? I want to pass EMP1, EMP2, two objects to other class method. Then possible or not possible? As both must go as a argument. Then how many parameters that method should have? One or two? Two parameters. Employee E1 comma employee E2. Totally how many parameters? First parameter, this of employee class or that class. Then how to call this non-static method? With that class object as a current object and EMP1, EMP2 as a argument object. Otherwise, look, I have another method called compare. This compare method is available in employee comparator. What the class name? Employee comparator. In employee comparator, we have compare method for taking two employee objects, employee 1 and employee 2. So how to define this compare method? Class EMP comparator, open bracket, closed bracket, void compare of, void a boolean. After comparing, you should return true, false, no? What is the return type? Boolean. Boolean compare of. What is the first parameter? Employee E1. Second parameter employee E2. And internally we are comparing the values of EMP1, EMP2 and returning true or false. Clear? Then how to call from main method? How many class objects I have to create now? 3. 1. Employee comparator. 2. Employee. 3. Employee. And then how to call? EMP comparator dot compare of EMP1 comma EMP2. Then EMP comparator is current object stored in this keyword. Next, EMP1, EMP2 are argument object stored in E1 and E2. E1 dot employee number equal to E2 dot employee number. Return true, return false. Clear? Understood? So if you want to share an object from one method to another method. How many ways we can share? Two ways. As a current object, argument object. If I share as a current, if you want to share object as a current object, you must call that method by using that object. Means object must be there before dot. If you want to share your object as an argument object, you must mention that object in method parenthesis. Then current object will go to that method and store it in this. Argument object will go and store inside parameter name. Inside method logic, if you want to read values of the current object, I must use this dot or directly variable name. If you want to read values from argument object, you have to use parameter name dot. Okay. I can share one class object to another class method only as a parameter, as an argument. We can share one class object to same class method. I can share one class object to same class method either as a current object or as a argument object. If a method is a static method, if a method is a static method, can I share object as a current object? Yes, sir. Static method. Static method has a this keyword. Static method take current object. No, you can only share as a argument object. Only as a argument object. If method has a non-static method, I can share object as a current object and also as which object mandatory? As which object mandatory? Current object, because you have to call non-static method by using object. One more object I want to pass, then take parameter, argument. Clear? How many ways we can share one class method, one class object, another class method? Only one way. One class to another class, only one way, as a argument. Tell me now, is it possible to call int I1, variable name is int I1 10, I1 dot M1 I am calling. Possible? I1 dot M1, I1 dot M1, possible? Int I1 equal to 10, I1 dot M1, possible? What the meaning of this statement? Search for no parameter M1 method in I1 class. What is the I1 class? Int. Int is a class or data type? Primitive data type. In primitive data type, there is any class to have the method? Tell me, is it possible or not possible? Not possible. Tell me, how can we, is it possible to call a method by using primitive variable? No. Is it possible to call a method by passing primitive variable as an argument? Yes. Tell me, how many ways we can pass primitive value into a method? Only one way, as argument. How many ways we can pass an object into a method? Two ways, as a current object and as a argument object. Ammaya, finally topic completed, Abba. The topic name is local object, current object, argument object. Hey, why always this internet is shutting down in Aurangabad and Maharashtra every time? Vijay, why any problems there? Tell me, first point, what is a local object? What is a local object? An object that is created inside a method. That's all? No. The object created inside a method is not local object. Tell me, you can access object created in one method in another method? Just now you accessed, na? Example object E1 created in a main method, you accessed in M1 method, no? So tell me, when an object is local, if it is created by assigning to local variable. Understand? If I create an object inside M1 method by assigning to static variable, then this method is pulling out of this method to static variable assignment, na? Now can I access this object with static variable in another method? Yes, already we discussed this point in variable chapter. Hello? Variable types of variables. If you create a object inside a method with a local referenced variable, then it is what? Local object. If you create an object, new example, by assigning to class level static, non-static variable, it is not local object. It is pulling out of this method to class level. Clear my point? So tell me, what is a local object? An object that is created by an object that is created inside a method by assigning to local referenced variable is called what? Local object. Means main method, example E1 equal to new example, example E2 equal to new example. Both 10, 20, 20 objects are what objects? Local objects. Belongs to which method? Main method. Next, what is current object? Current object is a program chudali. You have to visualize the program. Current object, don't say CURRENT, current object. No, current object means E1 dot M1. The object using which we call the non-static method. The object using which we call non-static method is called current object. Current object existed before method call before dot. Current object existed in the method call before dot. E1 dot M1. Here E1 is current object. Next, what is the argument object? The object that is passed as an argument to a method is called what? Argument object. The object using which we call the method is current object. The object by passing to the method as argument is called what? Argument object. A object that is mentioned in the method parenthesis, in the method call in method parenthesis is called argument object. M1 of M1 of E1. E1 is what? Current object. Clear? Tell me what? Okay, argument object. Okay. Here, what is this? Example E1 equal to new example. What is this? Current object. What is the, sorry, what is the local object? What is the current object? E1 dot M1 is what? Current object. Next, M1 of E1. M1 of E1 is argument object. Fourth way. How many ways we can share primitive value? Sharing primitive value only one way, as argument I1 dot M1 error. I1 dot M1 error. M1 of I1 no error. I1 dot M1 compiled error. Okay. Next, fifth point, sharing objects. Sharing objects. How? In two ways. As current object and as argument object. Fifth point. One method to another. Okay. Method of. Okay. Another method of which class? Same class. Same class. 6 point. Same class. How many ways? As a current object. Here 2 points are coming. 2 points are coming. Number one, to the static method. To the static method. Only one way. What the one way? As argument object. Next, second point. To non-static method. 2 ways. As a current object and as argument object. As a current object is mandatory. Next, seventh point. Another class static non-static method. to another class static, non-static method. Only one way as argument also. Any points Advania? I will also share programs and notes. Enjoy. Lal Singh Rahul, learn how to swim here. Problem solved. Other Simon Lal Singh, what is that movie? On your name, one movie was there. What is that? Lal Singh Chandana. Like him, you also start run. Please look at here what slides I have shared. If you once revise, then I will go to the next point. Local object, current object, argument object. An object that is created inside a method with a local reference variable is called local object. M1 example, E1 new example, local object. An object using which we called a non-static method is called current object. E1 dot M1 here, E1 is current object. An object that we pass as argument to a method is called argument object. M1 of E1 here, E1 is argument object. I have defined M1, M2 method. To the M1 method, I can pass object as only argument object. Then argument object stored in, to the M1 method, I can pass object as a current object stored in this. To the M2 method, I can pass object as a argument object. It's stored in parameter. Okay. Now I want to pass E1 object also to the static method. I call E1 dot M2 of E1, E2. Here E2 object only passing, but I want to pass E1 object also. To pass E1 object, M2 method should be static or non-static? Non-static. So I remove static keyword, then it become non-static method. Immediately 10 is also passing. This keyword created. E dot x means values are coming from argument object. This dot x means values are coming from current object. Okay. Then next. Now, how many ways we can pass the object as current object, argument object? Just now you solve this question, right? Then next. Meaning of example E1 equal new example E1 dot M1 int I1 equal to 10 I1 dot M1. Not possible. Then how many ways we can pass a primitive value and object into a method? One primitive value only one way, object in two ways. And then finally conclusion program, compile time errors. And then if you want to pass two objects to the same class non-static method, how many parameters? One parameter. If you want to pass two objects of one class to a different class method, how many parameters? Two parameters. Hope everyone understand? Paka? Okay. Now I'll give one more program. Expecting? Write down this program. What is displayed when you display object? What is displayed when we display object? Example E1 equal new example system dot out println E1. What is displayed? Class name at the rate reference. Example at the rate 1010. Example at the rate 2020. Okay. Write down this program as it is side by side. Left side, all these 5 methods. Right side, main method. What is this? BMCQ. Before method call. Q value. What is AMCQ? Raskun. Last 3 days we are learning same topic. Calling method, modify, come back and see effect. Okay. Conclusion program of this topic. One page. One page vertical. Regular. Divide into half. Raj Dhamma. Write down as it is. Hey, here M5 method is there. I call M5 method. Then which page you want? Next page. Close main method, close class or Swami. 5 methods are there. 5 methods I have called. Done, right? Find the output of this program with memory diagram by your own. Spend the time at home. This program will lead to new topic tomorrow. Clear? What is our target of completing course? Deadline. When our batch started? 30th September, no? September 1st. సరే 30 ఒక రోజు వదిలేద్దామప్ప ఓకే September 1st. September 1 month. October 2 months. 2 months completed. Now we are in 3rd month, right? November. Tell me, I ask you, it will take, excluding Sundays, because Sundays I cannot take. Totally 90 working days I need. 90 working days. So now we completed 1.5 month by this time, right? 45 days completed. Still we have more 45 days. So we targeted by December 15th, we wanted to complete. Understand? Is it possible to complete by December 15th? Must be. We have to work, okay? Now, last 3 days, whatever the topics we have learned, start from this keyword, then pass by duplicate, I can say variable shadowing, this keyword, variable shadowing, and now today class, local object, current object, argument object, okay? These are 3 topics and this program. This program leads to tomorrow new topic. These 4 topics, if you practice well and remember each and every point, next chapters are we can complete. Are you following? Very fast we can learn and without any confusions, with more enjoyment. If you don't practice these 4 topics, next classes will be horrible. You cannot have free flow. Practice and not by hearting program. You have to by heart the sentence. I will explain you in Java language or English language. With program, with sentences. Sentences I will speak, you have to visualize the program. When I say current object, you have to visualize E1.M1. When I say argument object, you must visualize M1 of E1. Local object, example E1 equal to new example. That statement matching programming line you have to visualize. That is called practice. When I say non-static method, immediately this keyword, this dot. When I call non-static method, current object going, this parameter pointing. If I modify, values are changed to non-static variable reflecting to original reference variable. So these all points you have to store in your mind so that next classes will be easy. Clear? So I am targeting December 15th, I wanted to complete. Next coming 45 days. So these 45 days, we have to work very hard. Coming classes, maybe I'll request you to available for Sundays also. No problem, no? We send one Saturday, Sunday, I guess, right? Reading runtime values chapter we spend. Okay, coming days. Okay, now I will may also request Sundays also available for 2 or 3 hours. Not on that long session 4 hours. 2 or 3 hours maybe I will request you to available. Okay, thank you. That's all for today class. Compulsory practice this program and come. How can you find output? With confusions, questions of flow na? Just a flow. What I did, method call, control go to there, create parameter. According to the logic of the method, you try to do the changes and come back and read the values. Okay? Don't confuse. Thank you.